This is TNT Wizards.
I am on red team.
Oh god, I'm playing against you. You're getting rocked. You're gonna get rock and rolled all night.
But this is also TNT Wizards. In the vast amount of games on the Hypixel network lies a hidden gem. Tucked away in one of the lowest populated games, and is even a black sheep among them. Under all of that lies a game like no other in Minecraft. TNT Wizards is a game with a well of knowledge and mechanical skill, but not in the conventional sense in games like duels, Skywars, this guy's a frog? And even Bed Wars. No. This game requires knowledge that is only understood by playing and learning the game. A game that looks alien to the untrained eye. TNT Wizards being a class-based shooter, you have 9 different classes, each with their own abilities and playstyles to them. Like most other games in the TNT lobby, the player has the ability to double jump, and with this ability, a whole new layer is added to the game. Not only does the player have the ability to dodge attacks in the air, with access to all 360 degrees around them, with certain classes you get more options. Because of this, aim is especially tricky, because with so many options in the game, it can become a prediction game with so many variants. Wizards also being a projectile-based game also makes certain classes harder to aim. Certain classes can hit air shots easily, while others require more thought and care into each and every shot they make. Let's take a class like Storm for example. Its offense wand is pretty simple, a lightning beam that has a short range, and its defense wand is a simple knockback. And despite all of that, this is the difference between me, number 30 on the Storm leaderboard, and the number 3 Storm player, Lime. While it may look like we're going even in the clips I'm showing, some things are very apparent. Lime has moments where he's outspacing me, comboing me in the air, and most importantly, out-aiming and maneuvering me. This is because of multiple reasons. Number 1, I just suck at the game. Number 2, Lime's experience with the game over 3 to 4 years gives him more experience and discipline, allowing him to punish me for any mistakes I make. I'm not even scratching the surface of what Wizards has to offer. This is just one of 36 matchups with a variety of player expression in each and every single one of them. And this is why I find Wizards so fascinating. So with this update, surely this will bring both old and new players together. This is what the update has done to the game. The game is now running rampant with Arcane. Any other class is impossible to play. So what does Arcane have that makes it stronger than any other class? Well, I'm not going to bore you with that, let's just run down the list. Arcane has hitscan, making aim basically irrelevant. Arcane's range has been recorded to be up to 40 blocks. Arcane's blast radius is about 15 by 15. Arcane can hit through walls. Arcane gets mana and HP refund on hit, and the class gets more powerful the more people they are, to the point that you can hold down right click if 3 people are bunched up, and that's just the offense wand. Oh, the defense wand is a point and click shove that resembles Storm's defense wand. It's a good get off me tool, but other than that, there's nothing to it. A class like this brings up the question of did the admins even test this class? But the question I ask is, have the admins played TNT Wizards? The reason I ask this question is because this class goes against everything the game has to offer. A skill floor that feels so rewarding to learn is gone within one update. Any skill expression taken away in an instant, making a community that loves the game not even want to play it in its current state. But this is just my opinion, so for the last segment of this video, I decided to turn to the community. I posted these 3 questions and asked people to respond in my DMs. The first question is so I can get a grasp of how long people who play the game actively have been playing for. The second question is to see how other kits are affected. And the third question is to see how the community feels the class should be handled. Most of the people who responded have been playing the game for 3 to 5 years, so these are players who have lots of experience playing the game, and it's not just little baby whining that they can't beat the big bad class. These players can tell when something's up. The general complaint comes from Arcane being a counter to every class. The hitscan making classes without healing in their kit impossible to play. Even classes that have a decent matchup can get shut down by an Arcane player with more than 2 brain cells. The kit scaling when people are around you just punishes you for standing near your team, and the class is not fun to play as or fight against. Scary Enderman says it perfectly in his post to the TNT Wizards community feedback forum post. Quote, "Classes should ideally be fun to play against and be fun to play as. This often doesn't happen in reality, but Arcane achieves none of these. It is both unfun to play against and unfun to play as, in my opinion. Arcane is already failing as a class based on these principles." End quote. Arcane doesn't require any skill, so a skill ceiling is never going to be an incentive to play the class, and anybody who's played the game in its current state says the game is unplayable, and I couldn't agree more. But this raises my last question: should Arcane be deleted or reworked? Most of the people that responded to me said that they would rather the class be removed in its entirety, while a small group of people believe that the class can work if it was touched up. One thing we have to keep in mind is that this is more than likely TNT Game's last update. We may as well have fresh content. But when a class like Arcane is tossed in, it makes an update that would have been great to Wizards a terrible update that made us wish the game never got touched at all. But luckily there is hope. The class is bugged and unfinished in its current state, and the admins have read any feedback that has been given on the forums. I mean, if the admins are aware of the issue, I'm surprised they haven't disabled the class, but that's just me. While I was getting the questions done, I received an interesting last word from somebody that really tied my thoughts together in one word.
Désembourgeoisement.
Which is a word I had to Google Translate and ask a Frenchman for because I am monolingual scum, but this word roughly translates to degentrification in English. This word describes how I feel about this update and Arcane. While removing prestiges and removing upgrades is a great step in the right direction for making Wizards accessible for everybody to get into, Arcane makes the game too easy, and quoting myself, Wizards has been made into an actual party game.